morning, guys. It is October 7th. Cold front hit Kansas today, so we were out doing some scouting. I don't know where I'm gonna put this, but coming back in this bean field, I'll probably walk 3/4 of a mile back here, and just to get to the edge of this bean field to try to see. I just really wanted to see where they were entering their bedding, and then going out to the fields and coming up on it. I got some pretty cool footage that I'm gonna show you guys. I ran into an absolute giant out here. That is a giant. Wow. He did bound off back toward the road, but I don't really think he knew exactly what was going on. He's in this little bottom of this little bean field area, and I can show you guys where he was bedding. So I'm not really sure how well you guys can see it, but you can kind of see how this is just a little belly right here, and he was laying down on the bottom, right in that little grass patch. Alright guys, so we're walking into this area earlier where I saw that big mature buck in the middle of this bean field. So we're walking in on the east side of it. We've got a north wind. I'm going to try to find a tree on this little pinch or belt of trees, and really just kind of watch this bean field and see if maybe he comes back out. There's a lot of tracks in here, so I'm assuming there's probably more than just him out here in this big bean field, but we're gonna take a sit and see what we can see for tonight. Stay tuned, we'll be up in the tree in just a second. So I've been set up for about 35 minutes right now, and just kind of took a second to take it all in. This year's been a crazy year, so just ended up making a change for my job to try to better my family. So obviously everybody, we're all going through stuff, so I'm going through stuff with just everyday life in my family. So us us adults and kids growing up, we all know that with the life we live, it comes a struggle sometimes, and it just kind of depends on how you take it. So everybody that hunts knows, when you get out into the woods and you get in the stand, your mind just kind of gets set free. So it took a good 30 to 35 minutes just to kind of relax a little bit, let the mind breathe. So we're in it now. I had a hard time finding a spot coming down on this shelter belt, and when I was walking up, I think I spooked a doe or something. It didn't sound very big. It just kind of trotted off, so I'm not really even sure what it was. But one thing I have noticed is there will be a lot of deer that will use this shelter belt. This one is super thick, so if you think about it, a bigger buck may want to use this for a lot of cover. So they can either lay down in the beans, which is out next to me, or they can lay in this really thick shelter belt type stuff. So out where I saw that buck this morning is about 135 yards out there. He trotted off toward the road, and earlier I went to go check the road because it did rain, and so you would obviously see muddy tracks, and I didn't see any, so he might still be kind of in that belly out there somewhere, because again, he did just trot off. I'm not sure if I just caught caught him standing up. There's no way he smelled me. There's no way he heard me because I was being super quiet. The reason why I didn't see him until I looked up was because I was looking at the ground for tracks and everything. So I was just trying to figure out where the best place was, and I found this tree like actually in the shelter belt, and I had to get high enough up here just to see over everything. So I got a pretty good angle right now. I can see a lot of stuff. I got a lot of cover over here too. Wind's blowing out of the north, so it's blowing everything that way. The only thing with this is I'm not too terribly far off the road, probably 500-600 yards. But reality, I just want to see where this buck is. I know he's back in this area. The reason why most of the time I am going to tell everybody, yes, you need to get as far back as possible when you're hunting public land to get away from all the pressure. But the way this lays out is it kind of goes up on a hill, and I'm on the back side of it, and so these deer will use this backside of this this little pinch over here, and they'll never be seen. So it's really pitch perfect for, you know, white-tail movement without being seen, without being pressured. So I think I probably put it on 5 to 6 miles today, checking out a bunch of these areas. And, you know, don't jinx me, but I have not seen a single footprint or nothing. I think I try to go by this, but I try to make sure that I'm hunting by small towns. The reason being is I was told this a long time ago, and I try to stick with it, but this is the first year I've actually hunted a lot of public land, and they were telling me to really try to key in on the smaller towns and the public land around that area, just because it's going to be very minimalized and not that much pressure compared to where you're closer to a bigger town or a bigger city and you're hunting the conservation areas or the public lands around there. They're going to get a lot more pressure. So, and especially with this early season, I know a lot of people are trying to look into, you know, where's the timber, where's the bedding, where can I get into? Don't overlook it. A lot of these deer will bed in these little bellies and these ditches in the crop fields, because all they have to do is just stand up and start eating. They feel secluded. They feel like they're safe. They can look all the way around them and check all their surroundings for predators. It's really an easy spot to find deer, and I can show it on the maps too where this deer was bedded. And I've seen this before, especially when you have the irrigation ways through crop fields. A lot of deer will actually use that, and also, you know, use that for travel as well. So those are some things I key in on the early season. Once we get into the rut, I'm looking obviously for your funnels, get into the timber, get into the bedding areas. I did find a lot of good bedding areas just for where we're at right now, and everything being so thick, it just doesn't even seem worth it for me to go in there and booger it. I've seen enough to where I can look and see where a lot of the deer trails are coming out of the timber out into the ag fields, and just really get a good idea of where those deer are bedding. So with further ado, I'm gonna get a little bit quieter. The winds are pretty calm. I think we get gusts every once in a while up to 15-16 mile an hour, which is perfect. It really allowed me to get in the stand and really take my time and not have to worry about being so quiet. So unfortunately we missed this morning's hunt, but luckily we're gonna have a lot more mornings like this. This is just one cold front. Yesterday I think it was close to 90. Today I think it got up to 65. So feels really good to be in the stand. I'm really excited. I'll quit yapping, and hopefully we have some action tonight. If anything pops up, also verify, just to let you guys know. So I have a feeling something's gonna happen, but I'm in a archery only zone, so there's no need for me to be wearing orange right now. There are zones out there in Kansas that are just archery only. I am in one. It is a archery only zone, so that way I don't have to wear orange. If I was in a different area, yes, right now you have to wear orange, but since I'm in the archery only zone, I do not have to wear orange. I'm gonna do my closing interview because I'm not really entirely sure if anything's gonna come out, but very weird night. I don't know. Saw a lot of tracks, saw a lot of sign, a lot of fresh sign, but nothing decided to show today. So I think the biggest thing for me was just wanting to maybe see if that big deer was going to come back and bed down and see if I can watch where he was going and maybe keep an eye on him. But again, it's still early, so it's, like I said, October 7th. It's the first of many cold fronts coming, so still got a lot of time, still a lot of hunting. I'm not going to say this was a false front or anything. It was definitely was a good cold front, but you know, deer are going to move no matter what. Colder weather are going to get them on their feet more often, but deer are going to move no matter what. You just got to find where they're bedding and where they're feeding. Once you do that, you'll, if you were to find where a buck was bedding, you would, and like you found his home area, you would probably be able to sit there all day and watch him all day, get up and move around. It may not, you know, he may only be moving 10, 15 steps, but these deer get up and move all throughout the day. So it's just trying to find them. Also, this was a new spot for me. This was first time ever seeing this spot other than this morning. So definitely was an action-packed day. Did a lot of scouting. Saw some deer. Saw this buck. So not a bad day. Just wish I would have saw something this evening with all the sign that I found here, but they must have found a different area to go to. So if I happen to see anything else, I'll share it with you guys, but if not, I'll see you guys on the next one. Again, we got plenty more hunting to come, plenty more cold fronts to come, so not no big hurry. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully you guys like these videos. I understand I'm trying to do less talking and more content, so once we get closer into the season and to the right, to more movement, then we should get more content for you guys. So hope you guys liking all this, like and subscribe. Really appreciate all you guys. Thank you.